Hey everyone, welcome back to Shop Life. Back at it again with another talking video. Seems like you guys love these videos. I get a lot of feedback on them through Instagram, even on the comment section. So today we're going to be discussing the top 5 scams at auto repair shops. So these are like shops, franchises, small mom and pop shops everywhere around the nation, even in different countries, whatnot. So let's go ahead and get on with the video. It's going to be a quick video, and hopefully this will help you not get scammed, and you'll know what to look for. So number 1 on the list is fluid flushes. This is more of a common thing when you go to like a quick lube shop. It's not really a total scam, but very often a technician that's working there will come up to you or the service advisor and will tell you that you need to get your power steering fluid flushed, your brake fluid flushed, your differential fluid flushed, your cooling system flushed, all of these flushes. So here's what I usually recommend. As far as a flush goes, you don't know what type of fluid they're using. Especially if you're at a quick lube shop, the oil that they use is usually told, like Pennzoil or Valvoline, depending on where you go. But you really don't know what they're going to use for the power steering. You don't know what they're going to use for the transmission, the cooling system. And the thing with that is you want to use what's recommended for your car. Obviously, they might have something that meets the specifications, but in some cases, like for example, a BMW, they usually use ZF transmissions, and it's very common that there's fully synthetic transmission fluids that meet the specs for the ZF transmission, but it's not exactly the same quality as, let's say, the ZF LifeGuard 6, which is used in newer BMW transmissions. Also, when it comes to flushing, so a lot of people, when they consider a flush, they're thinking of running some kind of additive through the transmission, or using some kind of power flusher to actually flush all of the fluid out. And this more so applies to transmissions when they want to use some kind of power flush, especially if you're experiencing some kind of jerkiness in the shifting or anything like that. That's usually going to make the whole problem a lot worse. So my advice to you is to stay away from any flushes of any kind, unless you're at a reputable shop that specializes in your car. And this doesn't matter if it's a Honda, Toyota, whatever it is. It still applies to your car. And oftentimes, these quick lube places that recommend these flushes, they're not actually even doing the job. So there's no way that they're going to do a transmission fluid flush, a power steering fluid flush, a brake fluid flush, and your oil change, whatever, at the same time within maybe an hour or 2 hours. It's not going to happen. Or if it does happen, obviously it wasn't done with all the procedures in mind. And I know this because I get this to my shop all the time. I had customers coming in saying, I had an oil change performed and they also recommended me to do these services, and I told them to do this, but it was never done. And this also applies to other services, which we'll get on to our second topic. I'm not saying that quick lube places are bad. They're really not. Most of those people do know what they're doing, and an oil change is really hard to mess up. So if you need an oil change, don't be afraid to go to a quick lube place, but just make sure that you know what type of fluid is going in your car. Because some cars do require a specific type of oil. It has to meet certain specifications. If that wasn't the case, these specifications would have never been made. So just make sure you know what's getting put in your car. And this leads us into topic number 2, which is parts. The top 3 scams involving parts are usually the part is never replaced, but you're charged for it. The second one is you're charged for a new part, but they use a used one. And the third scam is you're charged for a new part that's of a higher quality, but they install a lower quality so they can make a bigger profit. So that's why it's very important to go and look at your old parts, try to ask the technician to show you exactly what's going on with the car and why it needs to be replaced. Also ask about what type of part they're using, more specifically what brand it is. And when you're asking these questions, if the technician or the service advisor is starting to feel a little sketchy, that's when you can actually start making your own assumptions and figure out what you want to do from there. And main reason is a good technician or even a service advisor, they should be able to tell you exactly what's going on and why it needs to be replaced, and they should be able to show it to you. I know some franchises have policies where the customer can't go into the shop area, which that's understandable. That's why if you can see your old parts, it makes complete sense. They can bring it to you. If they're taking it off, it's not going to be much harder for them to bring it into the office area. Or you can just ask for the brand and you can just research the brand. And that's a good way to make sure you're getting what you pay for. But also know this, sometimes the parts prices that you're getting charged at a shop are not going to line up with what you might find on Amazon, eBay. And it's not always the same brands that you might find. If the shop gave you a brand and you looked up that exact brand, sometimes you'll find it cheaper on, let's say, ECS Tuning, Rock Auto, Amazon, Parts Geek. There's so many online vendors that don't have, an actual storefront, so they're able to offer that price a little bit cheaper. But if it's just a couple of bucks, maybe $10, $15 on a part, you gotta understand that the shop might be getting charged more than what you are seeing it online, or they might have some other associated costs with getting the part. There are some shops that will allow you to take your own parts. I actually let my customers bring their own parts in, but the only thing with that is sometimes the parts that you may order might not be the exact fitting parts, so sometimes you might get screwed out even more. And I don't really warranty parts that I don't believe in. So if a customer brought in parts and they're not the brands that I would use, I'm not gonna warranty the job, because why would I do it twice if the part fails? And that's why it's also important to ask about warranty for the parts, and even labor in some instances. For example, at my shop, I always warranty all my repairs, mainly because I use quality parts. So I can stand behind the part with full confidence that it shouldn't fail, and if it does, it's usually a manufacturer defect, which is covered by the warranty, which in turn I'd replace free of charge. Moving on to topic number 3, which is a tune-up. So tune-ups is a very general statement. There's so many things that can be considered a tune-up. So you really want to know what exactly they're doing for a tune-up. A tune-up could be spark plugs, a tune-up could be just changing filters, tune-up could be, changing oil and just looking at stuff. It all depends exactly what they're doing for a tune-up. So just make sure you ask them what services are being performed, or better yet, go search about your specific car, Google it, see what's recommended at the mileage that you're at, and just figure out a list of stuff that you might want to get done. And this is just so you can stay on top of the car. If you wait till things are breaking, it's obviously going to end up taking out more parts, and it might be more expensive in the long run. So let's say if you're at 60,000 miles, it's a good time to change your spark plugs, change other fluids, like I'll change the transmission fluid, making sure there's no other leaks that are starting to occur. If there's anything that's seeping, try to get it repaired if it's feasible. So when you're going in for a tune-up, make sure you know what you're getting, and if you can, do your research beforehand. That way you tell them exactly what services you want. Now moving on to topic number 4, which is fuel injection service. This is something that you'll also find at chain shops, you'll also find at quick lube places and stuff like that. Fuel injection service is, there is a real thing as fuel injection service. And this usually involves pulling off the injectors, sending them in to get them ultrasonic cleaned. They'll do flow testing, they'll change all the seals, clean out all the filters or change the filters, and even put new O-rings and whatnot. This is what a proper fuel injection service is. If they're just running some kind of cleaner through it, like seafoam, you can go look it up on YouTube what it looks like, or anything like that, it's usually not going to make a huge difference. Yes, it might, clean out some kind of deposit if there is any to begin with, but usually it's not making much of a difference. You can go look at all the research that's been done on this. Obviously, if you're running quality fuel through your fuel system all the time, you shouldn't have that many deposits to begin with. There are some cars, such as BMW turbo engines, more specifically the N54, which is found in the 335i's. They're known for carbon buildup. This doesn't usually just deal with the fuel itself, but a fuel injection service is not going to take care of that. That usually requires taking things apart, walnut blasting, and things of that sort. So before you get a fuel injection service, I would just do your research, see if your car even needs anything like that, and then go from there. Now this brings us to the last topic that we're going to talk about today, number 5, which is ASE Certification. Just because a shop has ASE Certification does not mean that they're very good, they're certified to work on your car. ASE Certification is usually seen in a form of a sticker. They'll post it on their window, or they'll have it in the office somewhere. Let's just put it this way. ASE Certification, if you read a general repair study guide or something like that for cars, and you're really good at memorizing something, you can go take that test and you can get ASE certified. They'll give you a sticker, you can place it on your window, you can place it anywhere you want. And that makes you technically ASE certified. The shop can have more than one technician. If one technician is certified, they'll just put that and they'll have a sticker for ASE certification. So ASE certification, like I said, general repair, that's the most basic form of repair, and that's a very easy certification to get. If they have some kind of master certification, yes, that is more advanced, and that usually means that they did go through some kind of formal training or anything like that, and they've actually learned and they're well versed in that particular topic. So don't just trust a sticker or a specific certification and just assume that your car's gonna be well taken care of. So just research before you end up going to a shop or picking a mechanic of your choice. If you guys want a video on how to tell if a mechanic is good or how to find a reputable mechanic, make sure you leave a comment down below, like the video. That way I'll know I'll make another one of these and go through a quick 5-tip list on what to look for in a good shop/mechanic. Anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll try to make more of these. I know you guys love them. Make sure you leave a comment down below, like the video. If you have any other questions, feel free to comment on here or message me on Instagram at ShopLifeTV. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope your car stays trouble-free.